It's a minute gone past the hour of 9 o'clock in the studios of Classic 105.5 and 105.9 and across the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. Good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, Petite Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. To you, wherever you are, we say thank you for being part of this morning's conversation. A warm welcome again to our viewers on GBN, Channel 7 and Channel 11, Channel 20 if you're in cable, and those of you that's chiming in via the World Wide Web at www.gbn.gd or via our Facebook page or YouTube channel. We say thanks for being part of this morning's conversation for today, the 27th day of the month of July. July is literally history. August is around the corner, Carnival, and then Carnival comes and goes. And then what happens is a resumption of school. We go past that. Then comes Christmas. We start all over again. And the circle of life continues, and very often, because we don't appreciate the fact that it's a circle, we think it waits on us. Then we get left stranded in time. This morning we're going to be affording you an open line. Or just as we, of course, apologize. We were expecting a representative from the administration to be here, but we were informed that unfortunately no one would be able to represent this morning for reasons that we're not able to share with you. But certainly, we are here, so we are going to continue to live life being what it is. When life throws you a stone, what do? You open yourself, you build yourself a quarry. It throws you some lemons. You make yourself some lemonade. And it hands you some peppers, as this morning. Then, you know what you do? You take it, you blend it, and you make yourself some real Grenadian Mr. P's pepper sauce. Yeah, if you probably grew up around St. George, around the Lucas Street area, you remember the days of Mr. P's pepper sauce on Lucas Street. But either way, the number on the inside, 435-2041. You can also post your comments on Facebook. And again, I just want to reiterate for persons that are participating on the Facebook platform. I know very often you get the concern that some people assume that their comments are not necessarily taken. Isn't in fact the case. If you do post your comments there, I would make reference to them. I would paraphrase and so on. And I would not say your name that Joseph Cadore says on Facebook. I will say a commentator or a contributor. And for some people seem to think that their comment is not appreciated. And keep in mind as well that very often the tone of the conversation that takes place in social media is a different conversation on the radio. It's a different conversation. Very often you'll be surprised how much more vibrant the conversation is on social media and so much more interactive. So again, we say thanks for being part of the conversation. The number on the inside, 435-2041. And we can get an opportunity to share matters of national interest. I know yesterday we started a conversation and there was a general concern regarding, and I know at different levels, a trend that is slowly creeping into our society. Children that are actively participating in adult events, and the question might be, where do you draw the line, or with it, who's responsible? Who puts the checks and balances in place to ensure? There was an incident with one of the musical icons in the U.S. a couple of years ago. But good morning to you, caller. You're live.
Yes, good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, sir.
Now, based on several experiences I've had in the past, I would like to make this suggestion that people who are having roadside events or carnival-like activity, and people want to call it, right? That the police should ensure that they employ, like in places like the U.S., they will call them bouncers. Let's call them security.
Right.
To ensure the safe passages of pedestrians and motorists alike.
Right.
Because I've had an experience over the last weekend in Woburn, whereby, I saw them playing the, getting on and so on, and I chose to drive slow to get to my destination. Right. And they chose to bang upon my vehicle. And that's not nice. Now, I'm left with a bill from a body workshop.
Right.
Right? So I am suggesting that the people who are hosting those events, that the police should ensure that they employ people to how should I say, ensure roads, not road safety, but let's say safety in the event. So if, like, for instance, the host of the event having something and they see somebody getting on bad, the security they employ could have the authority to tell them, hey, stop it. And if they don't want to stop it, they could call in the police and get them off the compound. Because after all, it's the owner of the activity that will be held responsible in the event of anything.
And I'm agreeing with you 100%. I totally agree. You know, very often people assume because they want to play mass that you want to play mass too. And I think maybe besides just the bouncers, if it's an environment that they can control, that there should be, you want to have a roadside jam, then there should be a designated area that does not impede on the flow of the traffic. I want to go about my business, let me go about your business, my business. You want to stand balance in the road, you do that. And I really do hope for that, you know, in you speaking up, that it would draw attention. And I mean, it is something that's becoming almost a state where people are just becoming too lawless.
Exactly.
I think instead of just lawlessness.
Joseph, I've had this experience over several places in Grenada, and that is why I'm saying to myself, I'm not targeted.
Right.
You know, it's not a personal something.
It's a culture.
It's a general breakdown in, you know, just maybe law and order, or just respect for people's personality.
Respect for individuals.
You want to play a mass. I mean, I was respecting them. I mean, I wasn't driving fast. The light was on dim. You know, you could play a mass. I mean, I was giving them the opportunity to get out of the road. They get in the middle of the road and they whine and they get on and they, you know, and I gave them the opportunity, but then they still choose then to bang upon the vehicle, and I'm asking the question, what is the real purpose?
I'm with you, sir.
And I'm saying that the host of that activity should be held responsible for what is taking place. If the police is going to grant them a license to have an activity, they should also have certain responsibility that goes with that license.
Correct. I am with you.
Seeing that we are in the carnival, in the heat of the carnival, I spoke to several police officers, and surprisingly, they all were saying there's nothing they can do. You understand?
I'm not sure. Well,
there's nothing they can do.
There is a difference in nothing that they can do, or is it whether or not they've never given it serious thought. But I think it comes to the conversation is, listen, if you're giving Joseph Cadore a license, because one to play to have amplified music, you must get permission from the police to start with.
Quite
so
true.
If you haven't, so it starts with that. If the GBN is hosting an event, there are rules and regulations that we must satisfy.
Quite true.
So we get permission from the ministry to use the Moulin Rouge, and there are restrictions. We have to clean it. We have to do this. We can't allow vehicles on the field. There must be at some point, and even if nothing is in place prior, then maybe this is the sort of situation that allows for it. I don't think there should be any reason for, at any point in time, why if you want to indulge in any form of celebratory events, that you have to restrict and impede the flow of the traffic.
Well, this is the reason why I'm calling, and I'm thankful that I get the opportunity to share this view, because if we want to build a proper society, because I mean, on the other side of it, suppose I was the ignorant sort of person who would have gotten out, and as a matter of fact, to make it worse, you know, several police ask me if I have an identity of those persons who do it. So imagine you are in the comfort of your vehicle, right, and they're asking you to go out of the comfort of your vehicle to identify those who do it so that they could make an arrest.
Let's hope that this doesn't fall in deaf air. Let's continue to agitate the issue for change.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All the best to you. 6 minutes gone past the hour in the morning time, and certainly I can understand the concern of the citizen there. You want to play your mass, allow me to continue with my life and do what I have to do unimpeded. We go back to the telephone lines. There's a caller.
Good morning, Mr. Cadore.
Good morning to you, sir.
And how do you do?
Wonderful as always.
Okay. I'm just calling to strengthen that gentleman just called there. And it's totally outrageous, and it's upsetting. I came from what I think was Zendom, coming down at Sunday, coming down to Bolio, and but just about minutes after 8. It's a 9. There's I hosted a playing job in the road. As the gentleman say, they're right to enjoy themselves. But the team, we out and the team, the whole lot of cars are coming down with his hand with oil or whatever it is, just rubbing on the vehicles coming down as far as the vehicle, and you know you can't go too fast.
Right.
So he coming to every man, the gentleman standing and he just touching every vehicle coming down there. And I wonder why the purpose of it. You see, as a man say, you get out and you do something that is very, very unpleasant to them, maybe something violent to the person. And they will say they're playing a job. But why do you have to dirty people's vehicle? We don't play, we're not playing a job.
Right.
So let us pass, please. Just go outside, let us pass, please, and enjoy yourself. But the dirty, about 3 vehicles. You there? We lost you.
No, so I'm here. Just my allergies that started acting up in the middle of the conversation. And I'm agreeing with you. I think it goes back to what we were saying initially. It's just a general sense of disrespect and lawlessness for property and people's rights. You have whether or not your rights to play Juve, Mass, or whatever it is, that's not for me to decide. However, I also have my rights to go about my business unimpeded.
I wonder why, because our 3 vehicles that get, including me, our 3 of us had get painted. And as soon as you told me like go and get some kerosene and a clean off man so you wouldn't really clean it up. But why are they doing that? You enjoying yourself. Come on. And I don't think, well, they get permission to play jam in the street that time at night? No.
Not at all.
But anyway, if you enjoy, why are you dirty? Why vandalizing somebody else's transport? That is so odd. I mean, I don't know. I want to answer the question again. Why? Why are they doing that? And I think the law should really, the police and then should really try to kind of push it in the head to when the traffic come in, allow the traffic to pass free from disturbance and from dirtying other people's property, because you're dirtying the property. It's my own. So I don't see that. That's I really could strengthen it because it happened to me. Okay. It happened to me Sunday, please God.
I appreciate the contribution, sir.
Okay then, bye-bye.
Is it being allowed to go too far? When does it stop? Who takes responsibility for it? Everyone is entitled to enjoy themselves, but enjoyment within restrictions and without infringing on the rights of other individuals. Good morning, caller. You're alive.
Good morning, Joe.
Good morning to you, caller.
Joe, I want to say this morning, every time Carnival come around, is the same talk about the children and the days. A few Carnival gone, you see about a 9-year-old sit down on the sidewalk, sleeping, droopy, and nothing. And going on every year is the same talk. Based on our Prime Minister, when he went in the heads of government meeting, he said the Caribbean is just a set of talk. Now is the time to take action. And I believe every time Carnival coming, we hear the same echo, and nothing has been done, especially with our children. So this is the time that we should take strict order and look at the situation and see how we could help.
Any suggestions from you? Recommendations?
I find they should have a little session, like in the schools in the village, cooling the parents and them and have a talk with them. If you want to go, you should have people you trust to take care of your children. Perhaps that might be able to help.
Okay.
The next thing, people having them promoters and them having a show. I feel they should have some security too. People look at here is about $400 for certain shoe. These people and them coming with a vehicle, they pass, they go. You get in the money. The police have a duty. The police can control traffic and look at your vehicle at the same time. So have some side securities that they could go wrong with the people park the vehicle and look at it and make sure it's safe. After all, that's your client, and you have a right to help your client take care of the property too, because they pay you the money to come in your show.
And while I'm agreeing with you, I think we have to strike a balance in the conversation. They are promoters. I know that for a fact. The question is, what are you paying for? Right, so I'm having an event. I'm saying it's out in the car park this evening. There are persons who would pay to have a VIP experience. with a VIP experience, it allows them certain privileges. Person may decide, well, I can't afford VIP. But in the midst of it, while I agree that most of these promoters, they would tend to promote security, to provide security. I think maybe just a word of a recommendation, suggestion as well, and does it every year, that when you park in your vehicle, you want to consider where it is being parked. I know sometimes it might be the most comfortable park for you, but they would suggest you park your vehicle in a well-lit area, consider the surroundings, all of those sort of things. But I do endorse the part of the conversation that...
But Joe, we have to look at that too, because, there is a lot of people in the show, a lot of vehicles, so people come now where they get the park. Sometimes they don't get the park close to people.
Well,
but if they park in elsewhere, just a little love and care for your clients, extend some security.
Well, I
so
think
they could help them.
Fair enough. But I think what it needs to, we just need to have general appreciation and respect for people's property. We need a little more love in Grenada. I think those are things, persons used to be able to feel comfortable. You go to a function and you would park your vehicle and you assume reasonably when you return that it would be there. Certainly, it begs a lot of questions as to what is happening or sometimes what isn't happening in this little piece of rock that is called Grenada. We go back to the telephone lines. Good morning, caller. You're alive.
Hi, Joe. Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Two things, with respect to the three callers, and more so the last caller. I work with a promotions company, and I'm glad that you were able to actually point out that most of the established promoters, we do hire police officers. We hire sometimes in excess of 20 police officers. I could tell you this. Mm-hmm. We had a football finals a year in Grenville, right? 25 police officers were hired. The fact is, the police cannot police everybody. And people, as you quite rightly said, is about respect for others. Now, with respect to lighting and things, and what you know is that we have a culture. For example, Judah will tell you, and Judah does always start his show on time. But Grenadians have a culture that they want to come to a show late. So the people who come early are closer to the venue. I don't expect Judah to go and hire additional security to put all the way up in Cherry Hill and so on. That is unreasonable. People don't want to carpool. So the people who talk, they don't understand the expenses and all of the logistics and so on that goes into it. The police don't work for free. You pay the police by the hour, and as a matter of fact, during the festive season like now, the rate goes up. So people just sit down there and say this, that, and they don't understand the nitty-gritty and everything that goes into it. So plus, we pay police officers, we pay private security, and still, if lawlessness, if people want to be lawless, they would be lawless.
Right.
So it's not about what Moki and DM promoters do. It's how us as individuals continue to understand that we must respect people and their property. Because I saw people dirty the ambulance already. I saw people leave the main area where they are playing and go and dirty people and dirty people's property. So it's not about promoters should be doing this, and that is really, really unfair to us in the entertainment industry because we know what goes on. Secondly, I want to ask another question to the people who are talking about children in adult activities. At what age, because I think it is about 16, right? And when you have children's carnival frolic, what music do you think the children will be dancing to? So you have to strike a balance,
Right.
Now people saying, about children gyrating and so on and so on. But the very same people here, they have internet in their house, and some of them, when it's being done, they're putting it on TikTok, they're putting it on Facebook, the way some of them dressing the children. So, in my humble opinion, and I respect everyone's opinion, but in my humble opinion, this is just, out of convenience. When they feel like saying something, they say it. And that is the long and short of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. I think we live in a society where our what the values and norms that we held, that we cherished years ago, they're seen as though they're slowly being eroded. And social media, it is one thing for you to do something in the confines of your home, you feel as though it's private. But when you see it on national television, and I think that we all have a responsibility, and not because it happens, but I do believe that there's a certain decorum that should be tolerated and expected and encouraged by children, whether it's at children's national carnival frolic or wherever it is. I think children must be and should be encouraged to conduct themselves like children, notwithstanding where they are, whether you're at school, you're at play, you're in a church, whether or not it's an event that is promoted for children. Children must be at all times encouraged and to conduct themselves as children. But certainly, as I said, this needs for a collective conversation and an ongoing one. 435-2041, and that's the number on the inside, reminding you that you can share your comments via the WhatsApp portal, and you can also make your comments via the social media platform that's on Facebook as well. And for those of you, I'm probably just going to check in a while to see what is it that is happening. Just some feedback from social media. This person says, yes, respect is all we need. Respect for property. Master Marquez, I think caller sense, I think people need to take personal responsibility. But I think we're living in a society where we lack respect for ourselves. And when you lack respect for yourself, it is seeming almost an uphill battle to extend respect to other individuals. But we go back to the telephone lines. Good morning, caller. You're alive.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, caller. You're alive.
Yeah, good morning, Joe.
Yes, good morning. You're alive.
I just want to express some concern.
Sure, go ahead.
I heard that recently what the Spice Mass rep said that $1 million was paid towards the carnival. I heard Ms. Bridge on the television saying that someone was paid towards the festival in Victoria. I also hear the Californians saying they want more money. And they also said that the Fancy Marsman and others will be playing for free. I would like to know where most of the money is going and who spoke for the traditional mass players that they are saying could go downtown Juve morning and play for free when money is being spent other places. There is nobody representing us on the committees, whether it's Fancy Mass, whether it's whatever mass, or pan. Nobody represents traditional mass or mass. And if you remember on Juve morning, you can come in town on the Carnage and see good mass.
Yes.
The band is still around. There are a number of players that name that come down here to play every year. And you are telling us now, because we weren't engaged, that we must go downtown. Even register if you want to and play for free. I think it's very unfair that we didn't get a chance to speak or to be part of a conversation. And what we are saying is that Carnival is a package. And the people that are promoting that package to get people coming inside here must know that when the people come here, they're seeing what we see, we're supposed to see with this carnival. Traditional mass, pan, kaiso, pre-show, whatever it is. It's a package. And I'm afraid that what I'm seeing here is worrisome, because we seem to be putting a lot of the private shows ahead of too much interest in those shows because of monetary gains. And we are forgetting that the real mass, the Monday and Tuesday, and the couple days of the Sunday should remain, and try to enhance it because it's kind of falling apart. We have to pay attention to those. And to do that, the Ministry of Culture must work with the NSC to make sure there's continuity in traditional mass. Just saying and talking about traditional mass.
Right.
Because when I sit down here and listen, that they are telling me that the Lions competition was held around the Foxton swimming pool a couple of times. I know that's a joke. It was held around the No Problem swimming pool. That's where it started. So even the people that run in the carnival and running mass and playing the mass doesn't understand what they're saying and what they're doing. because they are not well informed. And I think what the place is lacking is the right people in the right place with the knowledge to impart the knowledge. That's all I will say for this morning.
Great, thank you very much, sir, for your contribution. 25 minutes gone past the hour of 9 o'clock in the morning time. I want to say good morning to my dear friend, as the friends that's on social media, Master Ernesto Marquez. Good morning to you. And to everyone else that is there, soon to be everyone else, we say a warm, wonderful good morning to you. 435-2041, and that's the number to get in on the inside. In case you were just joining us and you were expecting a representative from the Roden administration, unfortunately, we were informed that no one was available to attend the program this morning. As such, we're here. There's an open line. We go back to the telephones. Good morning, caller. You're alive.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Now, we say carnival brings plenty money to the economy. Human quality and values cannot be converted into dollars and cents. Carnival season is a very lengthy one in Grenada, as far as I see. It's a season when people tend to enjoy what they may call gay abandonment. The inhibitions of people in Carnival seem to be reduced almost to zero. And we must bear in mind, I heard you talk a while ago about children that behave like children. Who is a child? What is a child? What is the appropriate behavior for a child? Children have ears to hear. Children have eyes to see. And children have brain to think. All the smut that is played on the air in the name of soca, played on the radio in the various homes of Grenadians, and the kind of behavior by adults to the observation of children, children would leave what they learn. I believe that Carnival does a lot to dehumanize and spoil our young people, especially, and our children, regardless of the age. And we should think seriously about it. There is not a God for Carnival and a Christian God. The same Christian God is the same Christian God throughout our life. So when we serve the devil for Carnival and try to pretend that we praying in churches afterwards, we are making a mockery of ourselves. Grenada needs higher quality standards. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. 29 minutes gone past the hour. We'll take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back right here on To The Point for today, the 27th day of the month of July.
After 2 years of no mass, no bacchanal, and no vibe, are you ready to be thrilled again? Well, get ready for Amazing Colors Monday Night Mass. And this year will be the most amazing return ever. Amazing Colors presents Trilogy. Wanna play Monday Night Mass? Then it's easy. Call 415-6174. It's Amazing Colors Trilogy. Unlimited drinks all night. It's Amazing Colors Trilogy. Monday Night Mass. It will be amazing.
This is a public notice to all cocoa farmers. In accordance with Section 10, Subsection 1, 3, 4, and 6 of the Grenada Cocoa Association Act No. 4 of 1989 and subsequent amendments, area meetings will be held at the following dates and places as indicated below. St. David, Wednesday, 20th July, Bellevue Cocoa Formatory, 3 p.m. St. Andrew, Thursday, 21st July, Grenville Nutmeg Pool at 3 p.m. St. Patrick, Monday, 25th July, Marley Receiving Station, 3 p.m. St. Mark on Tuesday, 26th, at the GCNA receiving station. That meeting will also be at 3 p.m. St. John on Wednesday, 27th, La Pastoral Center, also at 3 p.m. And St. George on Thursday, 28th July. Spice Basket at 3 p.m. Please note that the general meeting for the delegates elected from the above area meetings will be held on Thursday, August 18th at the Deluxe Cinema, Grenville, St. Andrew, commencing at 9:30 in the morning. "29 minutes on to the hour of 10 o'clock in the morning time. This is To The Point. It's an open line. We go to the telephone. Good morning, caller. You're alive.
Yes, Mr. Cadore, good morning. Joe, that last caller, he has hit the nail exactly on the head. He made a very, very important point that Carnival is dehumanizing people. The thing that takes place, Joe, I'm over 70. And as from a child, I had to go by the road and sell on Carnival time. But Joe, the behavior I see now, and I've been seeing over the years of people who participate in what they call Carnival, you never saw this kind of behavior. So we are becoming more godless, more satanic, more devilish, and we seem to be promoting these things as though that is a norm for society. Joe, unless we as a people recognize the degradation that is taking place in our society and the desire for, we're talking one thing with our mouth, we want children to be this, we want to be that, but we just talk, but we do nothing to promote it. And I'm saying for this nation to turn around from where it's headed, we must bring God back into society. The churches need a lot to be desired of. Because some of them, to me, they're just in the church. Some of them maybe not even born again. They just say something with their mouth and they go to church, and because they go to church, they think they are saved and they are saved. Because where the church is going now, it does seem that some of those people are saved. Because their behavior is one thing in the church and one thing in the society. But what we need is genuine repentance, genuine teaching of the Word of God. It is time that we start bringing the Bible back in the public domain. A lot of people don't want to hear it. They don't believe the Bible. They don't want to hear about God. They just want the devil to reign. But I'm saying for our society, we're talking about development. If we don't bring God back into our society, bring God back into the public spaces, bring back God on the radios, on the television, and let people know what God expects and desires about.
So let me ask you,
total destruction.
So you see,
so that man that spoke the last, I didn't want to call him, but when I hear him,
you seem to suggest.
So I want to support what he says, and I agree 100%.
And I'm agreeing 100% that there's always room for more. But do we ever stop to ask the sub? Because you're saying about who's more godless. How do we determine those things? So that we see things. How do we determine?
The Bible says, by your fruit you shall know them. There are a lot of pretense, there's a lot of hypocrisy, a lot of deceit.
I don't think you and I.
If you are a person in the spirit and you know the word and the spirit of God is with you, you must be able to.
You and I would never be able to have an objective position in this. So I thank you. Have yourself a really wonderful day. Thank you. 435-2041. I think, you know what? Very often we tend to assume that whatever, because we conform to certain beliefs, that everybody else conforms to it. And we expect them to behave a particular way. I think we cannot just assume and cast aspersion as to who ain't living right and who's not living right. He that is without sin, cast the first stone. I say no more. Okay, JC, moving right along. 26 minutes on to the hour in the morning time. We go to another call. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Yes, JC.
Good morning.
Sometimes you make comments that make me believe that you're trying to be the devil's advocate. As a matter of fact, JC, we learn that God wrote his laws on tablets of stone, on paper, and everything. They were destroyed.
Right.
But God has written His laws on the living flesh of the human heart. That is called the conscience. No matter who we are, we have a sense, whether to a great degree or lesser degree. We have a sense of right and wrong, good and bad. That's all I'm saying here. You see, you don't hear them rotten soca on the air. Sometimes they disrespecting. It's all me all inside me house dirty with rotten soca just because I had the radio on. Come on.
No, and I'm agreeing with you, sir.
We have to be better than that, man.
We have shifted a lot. All I'm saying though, that we have to sometime, in order to win over somebody, the very Bible that we speak to, it says, a soft answer turneth away wrath.
Yeah.
But grievous words.
Yes, quite true.
Anger.
Right.
So very often, if you're trying to change the status quo, the culture, trying to be overly aggressive, because sometimes we are passionate about something, but we doesn't have to sound as though I am castigating the person.
We have to do it persuasively.
Thank you. And that is the challenge very often with some individuals. That we become and we want to beat on you with a big stick. Get it right. Speak your truths. But speak it clearly and quietly.
We need some reform. Okay.
I agree with the reform, but the tone and the way we communicate that reform is what very often turns people away. But you and I, we are on the same page.
Later.
Take care. 435-2041. You'll always have to agree that everybody's not going to agree with us in any society at any given point in time in life, whether or not it was in the Bible times or not. There's always going to be people of varied positions, and we have to be able to appreciate that. And appreciating it doesn't mean that we are tolerating it. It's understanding that persons have different moral persuasions. We go to the telephone lines. Good morning, caller, you're alive.
Good morning, Mr. Cadore.
Good morning. I'm wonderful. Can you turn off or turn down that device in the background, please? The television or the radio. It's creating feedback.
Yes. What I want to see is pension that are given to people.
Yes.
When they reach 60. I don't know what kind of pension is that. Some people getting 200, 150. 180. That is no pension. What do you do with that money? You see it getting more money than that.
When you say they're getting 150, what are you referring to? You refer to a pension, NIS? What is it?
NIS. That is what people go do with this kind of money. You can't buy nothing with it. That is for people who use in fireside, who don't cook with gas, who don't have electricity. You're just there and you're just living like our.
But you would.
I am calling on our dear Prime Minister to look over this thing and put something more on our money. Because this money is no money to give people as a pension. As when you work so hard, you pay your NIS, and when you retire, when you go to draw your money, some people die, because when you go in the bank to draw your money, and you think you're getting something, you're getting nothing.
Okay.
And people just falling down and die with heart attack, because this money can't keep you up, it can't take care of you until you know. You have to do better than that. I think the ex-Prime Minister, Bishop, who died, must be groaning in his grave and rolling to see how the NIS come. They're taking the NIS money and lending out people to build house, to buy land as a bank. And when the elderly people get old now, you can't get nothing to go home with. That is unfair. Some other elderly people die in the corona, because neighbors used to come over and give a piece of food because the money can't keep up till the end of the month. I mean, do something about it. Look over the NIS thing and put something more on the money.
Well, I'm not sure about the 150. What I do know is that NIS is contributory. But what I do suggest, though, in all fairness to all parties involved, that the issue, yes, we have a responsibility as a state to take care of our senior citizens. That being said, though, I think the conversation as it relates to what happens to me in my twilight years, it must be a conversation that starts today. I, Joseph Cadore, cannot wait until I get to 60 and about to retire to ask myself, what is my life thereafter going to be? And I think I'm encouraging us, all of us, to encourage our children to start getting into the habit of saving and planning. The same way we plan for our 20s and our 30s and our 40s to live it up. Let's also plan for our years beyond 60. What sort of life we want to have.
They're treating the elderly like dogs, and that is wrong, and they have to do better than that. Okay?
Fair enough. 435-2041. That's the number on the inside. So many issues as they are that affects us as a people. But going back to the issue of our life after retirement. Life after retirement has to be a conversation that one must have objectively with themselves and their family. What sort of life do I want to have thereafter? And we start planning for it in advance. We go back to our telephone lines. Good morning, caller.
Joseph, I hope I'm not calling too often. I called to clarify what the woman just said a while ago. NIS is a contributory scheme.
Correct.
And the greater your contribution is the greater your pension at the end of 60 years. As a matter of fact, I remember working 22 years before NIS started. Okay? When NIS started, I was already 22 years on the job.
Right.
When I left the job at 44, I would have contributed 20 years to the NIS. Okay? My salary was not fairly bad. I was a school teacher. I was a lecturer at the Teachers College for years. I was an education officer for a number of years and the like. So my salary wasn't very bad. So my 20 years contribution was able to earn me something reasonable.
Right.
If when NIS started, I just started to work, I'd have gotten far more, because the greater the number of contribution is the higher the percentage of your retirement benefit.
And there's a reason why I made the point, and I said to the caller, it's contributory, that the issue of your retirement years should not be left up to the state to decide.
Right.
While I agree, government, the state has a responsibility to its senior citizens.
Yes.
I understand that. But we need to start inculcating into
because the NIS rules
let's plan our future.
The NIS rules have specified rates based on your income. Okay? This is set by law, how much you contribute. And they have a maximum.
Let's start planning in our heads for life after 60.
But anyway, I am able to live a good life now because I'm getting my government pension.
And that's where, and I think that's where the general conversation should be.
And I can tell you, JC, when I put my NIS and my government pension together, it may be a little bit more than what you're working for right now.
Well,
I'm sitting home.
I'll check you later for something.
All right.
Okay, go ahead. 435-2041. I think what needs to happen is there need to be a paradigm shift, a shift in how we see ourselves. Very often we assume it's the government that has to take care of us. No, it's not the government. We need to start planning our own future. What sort of life do I want to live in the years after when I'm gone past 60? And I start planning. So there's pension, there's the NIS, which is contributory, there's my pension that I get from my employment, maybe I have an insurance scheme, something, policy somewhere. Let's start having that national conversation. Good morning, caller. Are you alive? Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, don't be too hard on the lady, eh? Don't be too hard on her because I don't think she understands NIS.
No, I wasn't being hard on her. No.
I know, because she does not realize that she's getting what she put in.
Right.
Yeah, she's getting back what she's putting. But I hope she understands now how the man explain it.
And that's why we have these platforms like this. That as I said, it should be an ongoing conversation that you should not leave your future. You have to start planning your future 60 when you're 16.
Yeah, but poor thing, she didn't understand.
It's a tough one, but I understand her.
But my next problem now is Miss Jeremiah.
But I'm hearing that there's a device, that there's a feedback from. Could you just turn it off, please?
Sorry. I didn't know, like, I'm so far away from this. Oh Lord, mercy.
50 minutes gone past. 50 minutes onto the hour of 10 o'clock in the morning time. Are you there, caller? Yes.
Yes. I have a problem with Miss Jeremiah. I thank God that Miss Jeremiah is not Jesus. Otherwise, that lady would have us under heavy manners. Because how come this lady expect to pound down? She wants the whole nation to go down in prayer and fast. So some government minister now will have to go to every home to realize that everybody got down in a prayer and fast. I don't understand Miss Jeremiah. And Miss Jeremiah I get an experience with Miss Jeremiah. I realize the lady is false. One time you were offering a bottle of punch cream. I don't know if you remember that. You were offering it. But you had to answer some questions to get it. So she tried many times to answer a question, but she did not get you. But then you wake up and you say, wait now, Miss Jeremiah, how come you after this bottle of punch cream? You, a person like you want this, but she got out now, she pitch for it now. I wanted to give somebody. But my God, something is not good for you. You want to give somebody this? And then the thing comes there, say this lady is totally false. She just taking God's name in vain. Because she wants this punch cream for her nightcap. JC, anyway, thank God that she is not Jesus, because I tell you, thank God for who Jesus is.
Okay.
Bye, JC.
Thank you very much. Have a great one. 435-2041, that's the number on the inside. Looking at some comments coming via social media. This one says, yes, and that gives back to you. Thank you very much. Have a great one. I need to raise your concerns. And I think, and very often when people, and as I said, we have to understand that the comfort of the life that we expect to live financially, that's a personal conversation that we should have. And we need to start encouraging our children to make hay while the sun shines. Save while there is yet time. Have that conversation. What would I want my retirement, my life after 60 to be? It's not the government's responsibility. It isn't. And the conversation of your pension, government pension, that's a separate conversation. But as the gentleman said, he has NIS, he has his pension, you have other avenues. And even after when you're there, you have to find out, what can I do to make my life comfortable in those twilight years? It has to be a general conversation. We go back to the telephone lines. There's 12 minutes onto the hour. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Good day, bro. How you doing?
Just go ahead, please. You're live.
You speak about saving, right? And you're correct. Just over the weekend, I saw a guy standing up on his car door, drinking rum. On his car door, right? Drinking rum. And whining. He and a group of guys, about 6 vehicles, line up having fun. So I'm thinking, like, I'm working hard, and this guy is having fun. Nothing wrong with that. But I think on the news I heard that gas price in England is close to 10 pounds a gallon. I could be corrected. Yeah, Europe is telling the people to conserve. Conserve and ride bicycles and do this and do that. But here in our country here, we have people, they think it's carnival time, they couldn't do anything. But our sense of saving is not there. We don't have that sense of planning for the future. We think we can just do anything now and just get away with it. And when we get old now, we go and think, government, you need to help us. Back to school, we need to help these children. Right. The point is that we need to have this sense of planning. You can't have a life, you live in a comfortable life and not plan for the next day. So our people are not really, they're heading up on the right track.
They hear that like, just get up. Like, you know, somebody's high. Every day you're high. You're not standing just high. Or people even like they are so high that they can't even think about tomorrow.
Right.
So we need to have a sense of planning, brother. And I speak about that all the time. You know, gas price on here is $15 cap. And in England is almost £10. Do the math. England people are riding bicycles and conserving and making sure they save. Europeans are thinking about the future. Why going into that drinking rivers and class coat and starting over the vehicle and jumping up?
And let me just add to the conversation while you're here. That sometimes we think that we have to be making a pound and a crown, as they say, in order to save. Let's assume every month you make the decision, sir, Grenade people, to save $20 per month. You save $20, let's say, a week, $20 a week, $80 a month. You do the 80 by 12, $960. You work for 40 years. That gives you just under $40,000 in 40 years, just by saving $20 a week.
Simple as that.
Simple as it may seem.
And you can tell Snow White and say that.
$20. I mean, the things, when you look at it, how much times we can, how much beers, things we consume that are not necessarily needed. So I'm saying, and that's why we're here to help each other think about it. So imagine you're in a family, you work for, you decide you want to save, take it, move it from $20, $100 a month. You do that for 1 month. That's $1,200 a year. You do that for 40 years. You can do the math. It comes home. It has to be a conscious conversation that must be had and has to start today. For those of us who are on the right path, kudos to us. But because we're here to help the others.
Yeah, but you see, it starts from our parents, right? And our when we grow up and we become an adult, we have all this consciousness in our brain. Because you see, some of the kids in the right now, they have a vehicle, right? Bam, they bunk it. Oh, mom, I bunked the vehicle, you know. Oh, you again? How much you fix it? And then back on the road again. You understand?
Responsibility.
They're crazy, right?
I don't say crazy. I say they need to be thought responsibility. I think very often as parents we get blinded by the fact that we love our children. Yeah, but if you love them, you would provide them with the necessary tools. You know what? I love you, son. I love you, daughter. However, you have to come to a point of being responsible. But let's continue to agitate the issue, and hopefully it would make for a national conversation that we plan for later years. Okay, sir?
Have a nice day, brother.
Thank you. All the best to you.
And your listeners.
It is 8 minutes on to the hour of 10 o'clock. You probably have time just to entertain one final caller. I mean, folks, we need to make a conscientious effort to save. You don't need no fancy financial expert. Yes, they live to help. But let's take this last caller. Good morning, caller. You're alive, and could you please turn down the device in the background, please?
Yes, Mr. Joe.
Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. I'm glad Gebe made the incoming call. Now, a lot of us, I would exclude you. And I've told you that a little bit of learning is a dangerous thing. You know what I'm hearing this morning? Some people possibly don't want to work. Fellows like you, you're working for plenty money. Because I would underline this word, you are educated. So you would have a chance to save. You would know what money is likely to, how you spend money. But let's assume, I would underline that word again. A person is not educated. Then do you think they would possible think like you? No, a pity a lot of people, maybe like a lot of us. I'm not educated, that's why I could say those things. We run out of time, so if you could just but we cannot teach an old dog or a dog that don't want to learn new tricks. And everybody wants help from the government. And even, I don't want help from anything. You have to help yourself. Okay. You have to prepare for the future. And a lot of us in the world, we don't prepare for the future. We prepare that somebody would help us. God help us. I have more to say, but if I say it, you may cut me off. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. It's 5 minutes on to the hour of 10 o'clock. He really cracks me up, 5 minutes on to the hour of 10 o'clock. We need to be an awakening, a consciousness, and it has to happen today. The issue of your ability to save has nothing to do with how educated you are, because you might be surprised that the people that you may see, you may consider as being educated, traditionally the educated ones, and you compare some of the non-traditional vocational areas, you might be realize, wow, a guy may be a painter, a plumber. They might be much well off economically. But that being said, what needs to be done is a general conversation. My life thereafter, and start having that conversation. What do I want from it? What am I going to put away for the next how much years? So maybe start today. Start with $20. Start with $40. Just a general conversation. The same way you grew up doing a little piggy bank at home, and you need to get our children into that culture. All good things must come to an end. We had to leave the conversation here for now. Indeed, it was a pleasure being here with you. I want to say a special good morning to those of you that's online. Marquez, Amade, Century, all of the online social media family. Alistair Ward, Senior and Junior. We say thanks for being part of this conversation. One more of us here at the GBN, your boy JC saying peace and love. Have yourself a really, really wonderful day as you continue to recognize your divine calling and continue to do what you can to fulfill that divine agenda. God bless. Have a great one.